Hi everyone, this is Rijraj and welcome back to the TechFerment YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the web development roadmap in 2021. So if you are a web developer or want to start your career in web technology, so you can go for this video. So before talking about the roadmap, I would like to take a moment these all are the content is as per my experience, whatever I have learned, and I'm not targeting any XYZ technology. This is a kind of roadmap you can follow. So before going to start, web has a three core component like website. So website is a collections of web pages, or each web page is made of like pictures, video file, audio file, text file, or your source code. Or first page of the website is called as home page. You can build your website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML provide a structure where you can create a structure with the help of HTML elements. And second, we are using CSS. So we use CSS for designing our web pages. Like you can create a structure with the help of HTML, and then you can design the layout. For example, you can add some color property, you can add some margin, you can add some background, and many more. And the third, we use JavaScript for making web pages alive, or you can add some functionality like when we click on the button, there will be some actions we can perform with the help of JavaScript. Then second, we have a browsers. So we have created a web pages with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I need to run that web pages, so that's why we need a browser. So browser is a software that allows the user to locate, access, and display the web pages. And each browser have their specific rendering engine. And in the market, we have browsers like Google Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, Opera, and many more. For example, if I talk about a rendering engine in browser, in Chrome we have Blink, and specifically if I talk about JavaScript, we have Chrome V8 engine, which is written in C++, and it's an open source plate project. And the second, like if I talk about Mozilla is using SpiderMonkey for the JavaScript, or like Microsoft Edge is using Chakra, and there is a lot of things you can use in the browser part. And the last part, we use server. Like as you know, like we have a website, we have created a website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I can run the website over the browser to access that page, web pages. Now I need to serve the web pages from the XYZ location so that it can be accessible to all the type of user in all the devices. So we need a server. So server is basically is a kind of system or a computer which is designed to process a request and deliver a data to another computer over the network or maybe local area network. You can use it. Like is a kind of is a system where you have put your web pages, so I can access the web pages from over the network to from those system. So in the market we have a web server, email server, and file server. So web server we use for serving a web pages over the network. For example, whenever you are opening a website like twitter.com or google.com, you are requesting a web pages, so there is a web server. And web server use a protocol like HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Next, we have email server. We use email server for sending or receiving a mail over the network. So in email server, we are using Internet Messaging Protocol, IMP. Next, email server. We use email server for sending and receiving a mail over the network. And specifically, email server use a protocol like Internet Messaging Protocol, POP, Post Office Protocol. These all are protocol you can use in email server. And the third, you can use file server. Whenever you are uploading or downloading a file over the network, so there will be a file server. And file server use FTP protocol, file transfer protocol. So if I talk about like specifically web development, you have to mostly work on the web, email, and the file server. But if I talk about web server specific, So you have to work on Nginx, Apache, and Microsoft IIS. So you all are like have an experience with web technology like in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But if I talk about the corporate culture, so we have a three types of development in web. Like first is front end development, second is back end, and then third is full stack development. So what is front-end development? So this is also called as client-side development, where developer need to work on the website part, basically UI and UX part. So developer need to work on the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and have to design the web pages, create a web pages functionality, what will be the layout and architect of the website is a kind of so simple way. So front end developer convert your data like with the data we have like from coming from the JSON, it will convert into the graphical user interfaces. So if you want to start your career in front end development, you can go for the code languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also you can work on the TypeScript, which is most trending language over the JavaScript. And also like front end developer need to work on the data the from frameworks and the libraries, so they can go for the view which is basically progressive lightweight framework. You can create a front end application with the help of view very easily and with the very less time. And then second, you can go for the Angular, which is designed by the Google team, and Angular is working on TypeScript. And the third, you can use React, which is designed by the Facebook team. It's not a framework, it's a library. You can use it. And the fourth, you can go for the Bootstrap, like you can create a mobile responsive UI for end devices like mobile, tablet, and the desktop, or maybe large scale display you can work on with the help of Bootstrap. There are many things you can go it, but I'll suggest you to go for the basic concept like basic fundamentals of the web like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So next is backend development. So you can go for the backend developer. So mainly backend developer focus on the database and server side. So like backend developer write the business logic uh, for the server as well as the database. So you have to mainly work on that writing REST APIs, managing the database, securing the architecture, and many more. So if you want to start your career in backend development, so first you need to work on the core languages like JavaScript and TypeScript. And also you can go for the Node.js. Basically, you have to work on REST APIs. So with the help of Node.js, you can create REST APIs. And there is a fourth new, like it's not a new language like older one. You can go for the PHP, like if you have experience with PHP, or you can create like backend application with the help of Python, C Sharp, or Java, and the Go. Go is most dynamic language that you can use for creating a high scalable web applications, business logics, Kotlin, and Ruby. So if you have a knowledge of any of one like code languages, then you can go for the frameworks like Express, which is basically work on the JavaScript and Node.js. And if you have a knowledge of Python, you can go for the framework like Django and Flask. And the third, Rails like Ruby on Rails, which is a framework you can go for, like for the framework writing a business logic. And the fourth, you can go for Laravel, which is written in PHP. And the fifth is the ASP.NET, which is for the C sharp. And the sixth, like if you have experience with Java, you can go for the Spring framework. And as a backend developer, need to work on the database. So mostly you have to work on MySQL as a structured database. If I talk about, and also if I talk about unstructured database, so you can go for the MongoDB PGSQL, which is called as PostgreSQL, or Cloud Firestore, or like SQL database. We have Microsoft SQL Server, and many more. You can go for the database, but these core database you have to at least have an experience. And again, the core fundamental will be same for the developers. You just need to focus on the core technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and the working process or the web applications and the database fundamentals. And the third part, you can go for the full stack development. So full stack developer mostly work on the front end development plus back end development. Also, they need to work on the like some magical tools like Git. Git is using for version control system, so where you can manage the source code, and also you can go for the cloud service provider like Google Cloud Platform, AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Microsoft Azure. And for the full stack development, we have a three kind of categories like main stack developer. So where M for Mongo, E for Express, and A for Angular as a front end, and N for the Node.js. Or you can go for the mount stack, like where R is React as a front end. And then we have a mount stack, like we have V for Vue. You can go for it. So now for the development IDs, like you can go for the VS Code editor, Sublime Text, or JetBrains IDs, or if you have experience any other IDs, you can go for it. But I recommend you to go for VS Code editor or JetBrains or many other things. And the next, like if your solution is ready, like front-end applications or a back-end logic, you can deploy your solutions on Firebase hosting, GitHub, Heroku, or cloud service provider like AWS, Amazon, or Azure or Google Cloud Platform. And for the designing the solutions, you can go for the Figma, Adobe XD, Scratch, and InVision. These type of tools you can use for designing a UX part for your web applications. And there is a additional technology that you can use for creating robust applications or high performant applications. You can go for it. So first is accelerated mobile pages. So accelerated mobile pages, which is called as AMP. So AMP is an open source project which is designed for creating a super fast web pages, and Google is using AMP for serving a web pages search over the search result, and it is a web component that you can use. So if you want to know more about AMP, you can go to the link like g.co/AMP demo. And with the help of AMP, you can create AMP website, AMP stories, AMP advertisement, and AMP emails, which is very fast. And then we have a progressive web apps. Like if you have built a web solution, now you can convert or you can give that web solution as user experience as a native type of. So you can go for the PWA. So you can install your website, and that gives you as a user experience like a native applications. You can trigger a push notification within your applications. You can install the website. You can support your website with offline, like if you haven't do not have internet connections and many more, you can do it with progressive web apps. And the last, it's not the last, like you can go for the Firebase. So Firebase will help you to develop the solution very fast, like you just need to focus on the front end part, and Firebase is providing a lot of services that you can use like authentications, managing the database, security part Firebase is handling. So don't go for the like managing the resources, writing a business logic. Firebase is providing a lot of things, services. You can go for it. So with the help of Firebase, you can build high scalable applications. You can develop application very fast without managing the infrastructure, because Firebase is will take care all of the things. And then like if you are working on machine learning, so you can implement machine learning models on the web platform, then you can go for the TensorFlow.js. So TensorFlow.js is a library for the machine learning in JavaScript that you can use. So with the help of TensorFlow.js, you can create your model, you can use pre-built model, or you can run that model on a browser end. And this is very easy. You can integrate with the help of like CDN or Node.js packages. So the next is Flutter. So Flutter is a Google UI toolkit for building beautiful natively compiled applications for mobile, web, and desktop devices in single code base. So it's a cross-platform technology that you can use, and which is very fast in development. Also, you can create a beautiful and engaging UI with the help of Flutter. So thank you so much once again for watching this video. And if you have any questions or a doubt, you can reach us on TechFerment Twitter handler. And thank you and see you in the next videos.